Take me to work. All right, let's make some adjustments. Comfort in the cabin. There we go. I'm paying attention, car. Don't worry. Can't wait for full autonomous. That's going to be so great when I don't have to actually pay attention to the road. I can just do what I normally do, but get caught not paying attention to the road, whatever. Anyways, I had kind of an epiphany today. Certain things are going on in like the crypto world. You're seeing some pumping and some stuff going on. Even though I don't have a lot of money in crypto anymore, I still do have a little bit, and I think that could be a way to kind of supercharge getting some money back. I have in the past been successful with trading, but I've also lost all the money that I gained because I'm not very good at selling. I'm very good at buying. I kind of have the sixth sense of when an asset is beat up and kind of at a slow point, and then buying, but selling, I'm not good. There was one guy recently that I heard successful investors or traders will buy early, buy at low point, and then sell way too early. And the truth is like they sell way too early, but they still are profitable. And that's where I've kind of failed in the last few years, the last decade, I'd say, there was times, and I always think it's going to go higher. It's always going to go higher. It's always going to go higher instead of taking a profit. I've told many people this. If all the crypto projects I've gotten into over the years, if I would have just sold it after it doubled, I'd probably have tens of millions of dollars. But, I hold on because I'm like, this is the home run. This is the 100x. This is the 1000x. This is the one. And then it just fails. I've had projects that have gone up where I put $50,000 into the project, and then that money grew to $250,000, and I didn't sell because I'm like, this is going to $5 million, and it doesn't. And so I've matured, I've learned, I've suffered, so there was actually a time in crypto, and I think it was like 2022, where I put $10,000 into a trading account, and I only traded Ethereum, and I only did 5 or 10x leverage. And I remember working out and trading at the same time, just kind of keeping an eye, getting into a trade. I had a certain method where I was doing it off of, I think, the 1 minute. So it was a really short time period. The 1 minute with the RSI and the, I can't remember what the other indicator was, but when they both dipped down below, the bottom thresholds, that's when I would buy, and then I would just kind of feel when to sell. And I turned $10,000 into $320,000 in, I don't know, what was it, a month or 2 months? It was probably 2 months, 2.5 months. And I was like, I'll just keep rolling it. I'll keep rolling it. So now instead of $10,000 I'm trading with $300,000. And that was a mistake too, just taking my whole stack and throwing it in. Like, keep it going, double down. But so I got into a trade. I was probably at like 10x, may have even been a 5x. See, what would happen was I would get into a trade, and some of them would go against me, but I would be patient and just wait, because things would go down and then they would recover, and then I'd make a gain and I'd sell it for a gain. But I'd be down sometimes for a week, 2 weeks. And then when I lost all the money, I was down for, a couple months, and just agonizingly watching that price get closer and closer to my liquidation number. And if you don't know about trading on leverage on some of these websites, it's like you can take an amount, let's say you have $10,000, you can 10x, so then it's like buying $10,000 worth of the asset, and then as it grows, you can 10x your gains, basically. And some of it was, you can make big money, but you can also, so it works is, you can take all the gains, but if it goes against, your trade goes against you, then you can get liquidated, and once you get liquidated, they take all your money. And, depending, the more leverage, the less amount the number has to go to be liquidated. So, I had the $325,000, and what I was doing is I would use the leverage, and $300,000 at 10x is $3 million. So I was doing $3 million things, and I was watching this one YouTuber, and he would do $10 million trades, and but the thing is, it went against me, and I had opportunity to basically sell out at a loss, and I didn't take it, and then it went lower, and then I was like, it's just too much. I can't take that much of a loss. I can't go that far backwards. And I just watched it dwindle and dwindle and dwindle until I got like right by the liquidation number. And then every freaking time, it just capitulated, one candle, boom, hit my number, liquidated me, and then go up. I mean, that's the most frustrating thing. And that was a tough loss. That was, in my mind, I justify it by saying, I really only lost $10,000 because that was the money I put in. But the truth is, I lost $320,000, and it was painful. But anyways, my epiphany is to really watch the crypto market, really try to get into new projects with a little bit of money that I have, and try to grow it. And if it doubles, pull the original out or all of it out, and just keep doing that, because there are pullbacks and everything like that. It's looking like we just went through a 10, almost 11 month downturn in crypto. It's been painful, it's been boring, it's been stressful. I've had to I did a bunch of stupid shit where I lost a ton of money. But now, you have to forget that, and you gotta move forward. So that's the one thing. It feels like the crypto market shift is coming. It's had a 2 or 3 day pump now. Bitcoin's, been going up, which is good. But the truth is, it's like you have to, I think there's going to be a pullback. It hit 80,000. I think that's a good resistance point, and I think it's going to have a pullback to maybe back down to like 72 or something like that. But when you watch these altcoins, they'll go down, many percent more, and you can get in at those points, and then, a rising tide raises all ships. Bitcoin starts going back up, they start going back up, and you can get bigger swings up than you could with just Bitcoin. So some of these coins are risky, some of them have low market caps, but I think it might be an opportunity to make some gains from all these losses that I've taken, these big losses. Anyway, so that's one thing. The other thing is, I remember years ago, I decided, and it was probably an epiphany just like I had this morning, where I was going to stop worrying about myself and what I was making and start worrying about the people around me and how much they're making, right? So it's a much more noble cause. It's a much more easy cause to push when you're doing it for somebody else. Now at the time, I decided that I'm gonna help this guy. My goal was to help him make $1 million in commissions, and I think he got to $350,000 in commissions for a year, but he just ended up being a scumbag, a snake, a backstabber, and just not a good human being. So it was a very noble cause on my part, but not supporting a noble individual. And that individual will pay for what he did, and I can't wait for that day. But now, I spent some time last night with my son. We and a couple other people from work went to the boat races on the Chain of Lakes, which it can be fun. It's just kind of bad because it's Thursday night and it's stressful to get out there because there's a lot of boats, and I don't know. It was okay. It wasn't the funnest. It would have been nicer if it was like Friday night boat races, but then it would probably be too crazy. But anyways, talking to him, and right now we're creating, at the contracting business, we're creating a lot of appointments, a lot of leads, a lot of people looking for work, but we only have so many sales guys. So he's literally running 3 leads a day, and he would rather just run 1 lead a day because he wants to spend time putting together quotes, designs, and all that stuff, and he's getting overwhelmed. And I've seen it before. Years ago, we had a guy come up from Florida and work a storm, and he contracted with us to be independent sales rep, and he went into a storm area, and he got so busy that he would sit in the office and he would just flip through this book of all his jobs, and he would just kind of stare and be like, he was so overwhelmed, it was like shutting him down, I could tell. And this is the same thing that my son told me last night. He goes, I just don't know. I get to the point where I just don't know what to do next because there's so much to do. So this morning, I'm like, you know what? Here's somebody that I care about more than anything. He's my son. I love him. And, here's the noble cause. Here's the person to put the time, effort into to make him successful and to earn, the big money. So that's my goal. That's what I'm going to do. So he's running all these appointments. He doesn't have time to do the designs. He doesn't have time to do follow-up. So what I've decided to do is build systems around what he's doing to help him get these quotes out and get deals on the books. Okay? And I hate to say deals on the books. Projects into production is better because we're not that transactional company where we just care about this and that. We want to do good projects and good work for people, and our goal is these transformations, these turning an old house into something new and beautiful. And so helping him do that. So with all the stuff I've been doing with AI and all the stuff that, you know, the systems that I've done, I could take those, add to them and some other stuff, and really work with him on, you know, I've got some ideas about how to put designs together to present people where he wouldn't have to go through all the details of it. I think he spends a lot of time, he uses AI, but I think he spends a lot of time prompting the AI and not having like a system or a skill built that does it for him, right? So building that system to help him get his designs, get his pricing and quotes back quicker. Plus I can oversight and help him do that to get him back into the house. So instead of him spending for every appointment 2 or 3 or more hours doing the design and quote and all that, putting a system together that'll do it for him, so then he just has to go back, present it, and you know, sign the people up. That's one thing. The other thing is the follow-up. So I think follow-up is really more of a human type thing. So we have an excellent phone person. She's so good with setting appointments and doing everything, and she has no problem calling people, follow up and doing whatever. So what I want to do is have her help. Now she's been telling me, I mean, she feels more comfortable telling me than the sales reps, because you know, she doesn't feel it's her place to do that. But if they gave her the information that she needs, she would make the call, do the follow-up, and you know, help them along the sales process so they can, you know, get the deals. So I need to work with him on making sure that he updates everything. He has everything, you know, all the information that she needs to make the calls to help him. So that would help him on the front end with design, help him on the back end with follow-up, and then, you know, all the other stuff that I've been working on, systems to get reviews and, you know, all the other stuff, follow-up, keeping in touch with customers, all that stuff. Still continuing to get that. That's company-wide stuff. But really putting together the systems to help him become more successful. So with AI, making one rep who would normally have to do everything himself into basically 3 people, using AI to, you know, multiply his efforts. So that's my goal. That's what I'm going to be working on till probably the end of the year. And you know, I'll keep everyone updated on that. And I'll also start telling you about my trading. I mean, it's we'll see how that goes. It's either gonna sink or swim, but we'll see. And then the other thing is, I've been starting to look at real estate now. Maybe getting some single family houses, maybe trying to do a flip here or there. When we go into winter, we have service guys and guys that'll have nothing to do, so they could literally work on a house every day of the week and renovate it. So that's the other thing, getting back to the real estate. So probably in the next video or two, I'll talk about my real estate journey, on how I got into, you know, flipping houses, and then how I got into fixing houses up to rent, and some of the other stuff. So look forward to that. Have a great day. I'll talk to you later.